So lots of great talks today, lots of interesting use cases for how the technology as it exists today can be applied, used, integrated to solve real world problems. But we've always got to be innovating, and we always got to be forward thinking. We continue to support all the critical services that you heard about today. We continue to be working in healthcare and supporting the military and logistics planning and all the things that make the government run efficiently. But what's interesting is we're constantly trying to learn, and we want your feedback to make all of that capability better. So please take the time today, tonight, hopefully all are joining us for barbecue here shortly, to give us feedback. What is it that we're not doing? And what is it that we could be doing better? We continue to support and we continue to be a thought leader in trying to push and advance live location and mapping into the future. You've seen how, particularly through Margaret's talk, how we are taking computer vision and we're putting it at the edge, meaning we're putting it on commodity devices just like your phone. You don't need specialty hardware anymore to do machine learning and computer vision. Everyone's phone can do it for them. We've also created a brand new partner program to help us go farther faster. We're doing that because at Mapbox, we're not going to try to be all things to all people. We know what we're good at, and we want to stay in our lane. We want to augment that capability by bringing on a team of partners who are experts in other areas. Again, the goal being get farther faster as efficiently as possible. We often talk a lot, and we have today, about all the government organizations that we support and help to keep critical services open. But we continue to grow and have a very large presence in the commercial space as well. These are just a handful of the large organizations, agencies, and other companies that we work with in some way, shape, or form. Some pretty big names up here. And we continue to grow that side of the business as well. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, it means that you're constantly growing, we are constantly growing a user base who is validating our capabilities, who is testing the strength of our backbone and our network capabilities, and ensuring that everything that we do has been validated and tested before it gets into your hands. Margaret mentioned it, I think Eric mentioned it a little earlier, but we're proud of the fact that we have 512 million monthly active users of the Mapbox platform. That's 512 million people every month using our technology, testing it for us, and making sure that it meets mission need. And that's because they're leveraging Mapbox in over 5,000 web and mobile applications on both the iOS and Android stores. These applications are our way of getting our technology in your hands, and then you providing us the information back to update our maps. But it's not just the end users, it's the developers as well that keep the platform active. We have a very, very, very active developer community. All of our SDKs are open sourced, and anyone in this room can contribute back to those SDKs and continually make them better. And we do. Over 100,000 monthly active developers actively contributing to our SDKs in GitHub. But it's also interesting to note the coverage of Mapbox through the locations of our data centers throughout the globe. It's one of the reasons we have the ability to serve our content to you so efficiently and so effectively with minimal downtime. And of particular note is all of the work we're now doing to support China. All of the applications that are unique to that environment, somewhat closed environment, Mapbox was chosen to come into that environment and provide a mapping platform for their government. We talked a lot about data science and data in particular in Margaret's talk. We continue to work with BI platforms and data science platforms to bring location as another layer into your ability to understand and maximize the value of your data. We are working with all the providers you see here on the screen and more. We were lucky enough to have Tableau come and speak today. We have a very, very good partnership with them. If you are working in the BI space, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to tell you how you can also put location inside of your BI dashboard. The best part, the Mapbox BI platforms work both online and offline because of the benefit of Mapbox Atlas. One of the things that I thought was very interesting when I came to Mapbox was it's a developer platform, and that's a great thing. But in the government, that's not sometimes always the greatest thing, because you have to build what you need before you can use it. So what we're starting to do is focus in on creating turnkey solutions, capabilities that are ready to use out of the box. How do you quickly start with just a simple app to begin using our platform for situational awareness, for asset management, These are all very common use cases, and I shouldn't necessarily have to be a developer to take the Mapbox platform and begin using it in that capacity. So we are conscientiously working to create these turnkey solutions that will be released this year to help you get started with Mapbox faster. You saw the first one today, the operations dashboard, which comes as part of the flyaway kit with Atlas, but we'll be working on others by ourselves, particularly a parcel management application we're starting to look into creating, as well as working with some of our partners, a field data collection solution in partnership with Spatial Networks and Fulcrum. What's really, really interesting to me is the amount of feedback we do get. A lot of the things that people are asking for are things that are common, we would think, to this space, but aren't necessarily common to the commercial environment that we've typically thrived in. So in the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to really focus on adding in contributions to this community. Things like WGS84 support and additional projection support. Things like MGRS lookup. These are all things that we take for granted, but sometimes in the commercial world don't seem very important. We as a team, with our renewed focus on government, are going to take all of these requirements, build them into the product, and make them more applicable for you. Margaret did a phenomenal job of talking about data and how the live location platform is constantly updated, in large part, to our new Vision SDK. This is phenomenal. The Vision SDK was a public beta release about a week ago. It gives you the ability to take those commodity devices, like the dash cam camera, like your phone, and be able to process data in real time. Now, this has sort of two interesting use cases. The first is, tell me what I see. So as the video is actually capturing something, information is overlaid on top. That's the traditional augmented reality. But it also has the ability to capture information and store it, creating new data on the fly. So perhaps I'm driving down the road and I'm using my iPhone as an augmented reality navigation system. If it's identifying new features, if it's seeing road signs, lights, things like that, it can actually create features in a data set for me, stored, that I can then go use and analyze later. So it's sort of got a dual purpose, both of which, again, aimed at creating data that's more accurate and updated more often, the live location platform that makes Mapbox so great. The benefit of having that is the ability to create new data sets. We've talked about a few of these already. This idea that I can understand relative busyness, right? How busy should I expect something to be? Is it normal that I see a lot of activity in this area? Is that abnormal? Should I be concerned? But also the ability to take that live location platform, that telemetry data that's collected, and begin to understand where new data needs to be captured or where new data should be captured. Here you've got an interesting area here in Afghanistan where there are no actual road features, but we do see some telemetry. Clearly there's activity in that area. Perhaps we need to go update our maps. There are many other data sets that we're thinking about creating and releasing. Margaret talked about the speed limits data set, this idea of road signs and speed limits globally because of the way the Vision SDK captures information. The Buildings Plus data set she also mentioned, the beautiful idea of having a global data set of building footprint data in 3D, but with the attribution we all want, heights, number of windows, things like that. The Enterprise Boundaries data set, a very, very unique data set, a global data set that allows you to see the boundaries how other countries see it. How do the Chinese view political boundaries? How do the Indians view political boundaries? How does the US Department of State view those political boundaries? And with a simple drop-down, you can change the way we see the world. But then maybe we want to fill those boundaries with demographic information or socioeconomic status information. Take all the great information that's created at the census and put it underneath those polygons to create an awesome community tapestry. So these are all things that are possible and all things that we're working on here at Mapbox. And very soon, you'll all be able to leverage this capability as well. The predictive large matrix is also something I think is very, very innovative. The work that we've done with parcel delivery organizations as well as logistics companies, they've come to us and say, look, all of your routing and all of your geocoding and your search capabilities, they're all wonderful, but I need to do more. I have such a large-scale problem that what you've created can't get me there, can't quite get me there. So we've worked very hard and created the capability for doing large matrix planning. And by large, I mean quite literally looking at millions of requests in about 3 seconds. And I can use the live location platform to take live traffic data to not only route once, but then take that live information and dynamically reroute throughout the day, because it only takes 3 seconds to run 1 million individual routes from point A to point B. And then I can take that historical traffic information and I can predictively tell you what tomorrow's ETAs should be. And then I can update it tomorrow with the live data information of the traffic for that day. So you can see where the live location platform really benefits and adds to our capabilities. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, of all the great visualization and dissemination capability we've talked about today, that analysis is still a core part of everything that we do. So don't forget that Mapbox still maintains the turf.js library that it actually created way back. There's a ton of tools here, a ton of value. All your traditional GIS type work, overlays, proximity analysis, buffers, clips, all those kinds of things, they're all right here. But what's interesting is instead of just being a simple library you code yourself, we're talking internally now about making these available as web services. Analytical services ready to add inside of your applications as soon as you need them. So these are just some of the things that we as a company are thinking about putting into our roadmap, but I'd love to hear from you all. So please be sure to take some time, talk to us today, tomorrow, I don't care when. We want to make sure that the products and the capabilities we are creating are going to work for you. And in order to do that, we need your feedback. One last interesting point of note, one of the ways we are going to facilitate this information exchange and hopefully get that feedback from you is we're going to start a brand new Mapbox Government Users Meeting. We're going to try and hold it monthly. We're going to hold the first one May 8th at our headquarters on 15th Street. I encourage you all to be there. For those of you who do attend the inaugural event, we will give out a special challenge coin, the brand new Mapbox challenge coin. So I encourage you all to participate.
Did you just invite like all of Washington, D.C. to our office?
I think I did, Dom. I think I did.
That's very Mapbox of you. And that invitation is always open to anyone helping keep critical services online.
This community here stands for the things that brought Mapbox into being.
This is who we are. This is who we want to build for and who we want to build with.
We hope that this event has opened your eyes into what our live location platform can do for the public sector, whether mission planning, supporting disaster response, public safety, logistics, or citizen engagement. If the mission is critical, or when lives hang in the balance, Mapbox is committed to supporting critical services.
So thank you once again for joining us here today. We're now going to move this party across the street to Hill Country Barbecue so we can connect with each other with some whiskey, with some water, and some food. We got a shout out to our friends at Nomad up here in the booth, to the people in the Woolly Mammoth here. To our team, Fluent Video, DC Shop, and to all the Mapboxers who helped make this happen.
And before we end, please join me in giving all of our presenters one last final round of applause.